What's up, everybody? We are back. John Delarose here. Delarose.com. That's DELARROZ.com. Head over to my website and sign up for my newsletter. Get some free comics along your way and never miss a video. Good stuff right there. This is probably one you might not have expected me to review here. This is Spider-Man Life Story by Chip Zdarsky and Mark Bagley. I got this in basically a lot of a bunch of other books that I was getting. And so wasn't intending on picking this up, but I did. And this is a 6-issue mini-series of Spider-Man history. And basically the premise of it is that Spider-Man aged in real time, and the Marvel Universe kind of aged in real time. And it integrated a lot of the concepts of the actual history of the Marvel Universe in here, along with it. And it ends, of course, with, spoiler, Spider-Man's death. So there you go. So, interesting premise. The first issue in the 60s, they hit the 60s peace protests. A lot of Flash Thompson's going off to war. Spider-Man's wondering if he should go off to war also. I really love Mark Bagley's art. I gotta pause on this. Just like, look at this awesome cityscape, this cool perspective. It just works wonders. And Bagley's got this like just nice way of drawing Spider-Man that just always has worked. He was on Amazing Spider-Man a long time ago and did a wonderful job there. That was like the Amazing Spider-Man I grew up on. And then, of course, he did the Ultimate Spider-Man run for a long time, which defined that character. So he's really one of the definitive Spider-Man artists, and I think he does a great job. I love it, the way everything looks. The Peter looks great. The Norman looks great. The Harry looks great. Everything's good. Even J. Jonah looks great. So it starts to diverge a little bit. Peter starts working with Miles Warren and Reed Richards in a lab sort of setup. He gets close with Gwen Stacy. The ways that happen, the Green Goblin kind of gets captured, and Gwen Stacy ends up living, and so does Norman Osborn. And Norman goes to jail and doesn't remember anything about the, quote, incident. At least so we think. At first, you get this nice classic Goblin tale with a twist ending. And eventually Peter and Gwen get married. Captain America is talking about the war efforts and all that. And we move on to the 70s. So you think Norman doesn't know what's going on, but he's in jail, and he reveals that he does. So Harry kind of tries to set up this revenge thing. We learn about Mary Jane. She's kind of a skank in this, which kind of sucks. I mean, she is a little bit in the main comic, but they really amplify that here. And she's all hooked up with Harry, who's like a drug addict in this. I mean, that kind of hurt to see the characters on that level. But whatever. Yeah, so Harry kind of takes over the Green Goblin mantle, and we find out as he bombs Warren's deal that there's these clones that he's building. And one of them was Peter, one of them was Gwen Stacy, and one of them was of Osborn, or himself. I can't remember. Yeah, I think Osborn. And only the Peter one survives, and they come up with the idea that the real Peter was actually the clone, kind of like the Clone Saga a little bit. And so real Peter kind of hangs out and lets the clone Peter go off with Gwen Stacy and get married and all that. And Peter's kind of left by himself, and MJ's like, no, you have me. And so later on, we get MJ having a baby, and in this version, the baby actually survives, which I like. I am a big fan of Spider-Girl. Now, where I wish Zdarsky would have went with this is I wish he would have named one of them May and had actual Spider-Girl May in this rather than this new character, Claire. I don't know if she's a new character, but she's new to me. That would have been a little cooler, at least on my front. But Spider-Man's getting older. He's aging. And he's working on his spider suits and stuff like that. And he eventually comes back with the alien costume. And here's the little twist in that. So the Secret War happens. You get little interesting twists on the Marvel Universe that if you know the Marvel Universe, you really get some nice Easter eggs out of this. And it's fun. And then he eventually gives up the black costume. And it turns out that Kraven the Hunter steals the black costume. So there's the twist there also. We get a little Kraven's Last Hunt interlude, and then Peter gets the costume back, and that's how he survives. The art's just super consistent all the way through. Bagley has drawn these characters for so long, like he'd probably do it in his sleep. And I love the colors on this page look really nice. Just good stuff. It reminds me of some classic 90s comics here a little bit. Octavius comes back, and then it kind of gets a little weird towards the end of this. Norman's getting really old. And eventually we get into the Straczynski storyline where he actually brings the Morlun. He's hunting the spiders, and the kids are kind of grown up. And the Civil War is happening at the same time. And we get to see the sort of aftermath of Tony Stark losing his soul through this entire series. So if you're an Iron Man fan, you probably won't enjoy, I don't know, won't enjoy it on that level very much. But it's you know, for a miniseries, it works out pretty well. And eventually we get into the 2019, and we actually have Miles Morales show up, and he's just basically another kid who happens to have spider powers, and he goes on a mission with Peter to save the day, and Peter leaves himself there, dies. Now, the twist on Superior Spider-Man is that Miles Morales is the one that Octavius kind of brainwashes and steals his body instead of Peter. So he comes back, and of course we have the death of Peter. And that's it. So it is an interesting like life retrospective, and it does really tie in all of the like Marvel Universe very well. You definitely have a lot of Easter eggs of all of Spider-Man history and all of Marvel Universe history. Like I said, so it was a fun read. It was a fast read, fast-paced. I don't think there was anything off about the characterizations or anything like that. So I was very pleased with this. This was something I kind of just got as a bonus and didn't really think I was going to get. Wasn't sure if I'd enjoy it or not. I don't read a lot of modern comic books, but I did. So it was fun, and I'll call it an 8.5 out of 10. Enjoyable all the way around. I don't know that it's super classic because it is just repeating a lot of the points of Spider-Man history with that twist that he actually ages, right? So, you know, there's not a ton of new story here, but it all works, and it was all fun. And it was a nice refresher of what's gone on in Spider-Man's life, and a nice little member berries for those who like really have paid attention all the way around. Let me know if you've read this. Hit that like and subscribe button, everybody. Leave a comment down below, and we will be back soon.